welcome to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Sarah Petricola.
And I'm Abby Garrett. Thanks for joining us for the news we've been watching for you. 3 police officers on Monday described an onslaught of gunfire and bombs thrown during a violent confrontation with the Boston Marathon bombers days after the deadly attack, and one suspect's furious escape in a stolen car that ended with him dragging his brother's body through the street. The testimony by Watertown officers came hours after jurors in the federal death penalty trial of Johar Tsarnaev went to see the bullet-ridden boat he was found hiding in the evening of April 19, 2013.
A man accused of shooting 2 officers last week in Ferguson was not targeting police or aiming at demonstrators at a late-night protest, his attorney said, as he countered an earlier police description of the crime. Defense attorney Gerald Christmas also suggested that St. Louis County Police may have used excessive force when arresting the suspect, Jeffrey Williams, saying his client had bruises on his back, shoulders, and face, as well as a knot on his head. A police spokesman called the lawyer's allegations completely false.
Defense attorneys in the Colorado Theater shooting case have again asked a judge to move the trial, writing in court documents released Monday that most prospective jurors already believe defendant James Holmes is guilty. The request came nearly 2 months into jury selection, as attorneys question individual candidates about their views on mental illness and the death penalty.
A vote by Utah lawmakers to bring back execution by firing squad is the most dramatic illustration yet of the nationwide frustration over bungled executions and shortages of lethal injection drugs. Utah and several other states are scrambling to modify their laws on the heels of a botched Oklahoma lethal injection last year, and one in Arizona in which the condemned man took nearly 2 hours to die.
After warmer temperatures on Monday, it looks like we're headed back to winter for the rest of the week. With the forecast, here's Aislinn Foltz.
Temperatures will remain well below normal today, and for that matter, the rest of the week, as we just can't seem to escape the grasp of winter. Look for some partial sunshine today, with temps in the mid-30s. On Wednesday, we'll have the temperature barely reaching 30, much the same on Thursday before it looks like some snow on Friday into the weekend. In fact, there's information that's coming in that the East Coast might have a brace for yet another nor'easter, which could bring some significant snow. Right now, we look to be on the western edge of that system, but it's a storm system worth keeping an eye on. That's our weather. I'm Aislinn Foltz.
March Madness officially kicks off tonight. With the news and sports, here's Patrick.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament opens up officially tonight with 2 play-in games, followed by 2 more tomorrow. The brackets were announced Sunday evening, and to no one's surprise, Kentucky earned the number 1 spot. Duke, Villanova, and Wisconsin also were seeded number 1 in their respective regions. The round of 64 kicks off Thursday beginning at noon. Pete Rose finally has a chance to get his lifetime ban from baseball lifted after he gambled on the sport as a manager of the Cincinnati Reds. Rose, who was accused of gambling on baseball for several years in the 1980s, has formally petitioned the new MLB commissioner, Rob Manfred, to reinstate him to the game. Manfred told reporters that he will review Rose's case and eventually meet with the all-time hits king.
With a look at what's on the calendar this week, here's Shannon Corey.
The big event this week is, of course, the annual variety show sponsored by the German and Spanish clubs. There will be 2 shows on Thursday and Friday, with Friday's show also available on our Ustream channel. You can find the link going to the district's website, opening the story, and clicking the link.
And finally, here's Svenja with our history lesson.
On this day in history, in 1461, St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, died in Seoul. In 1776, British forces evacuated Boston during the Revolutionary War. In 1941, the National Gallery of Art opened in Washington, D.C. In 1942, General Douglas MacArthur arrived in Australia to become Supreme Commander of Allied forces in the Southwest Pacific Theater during World War II. In 2003, edging to the brink of war, President George W. Bush gave Saddam Hussein 48 hours to leave his country. Iraq rejected the ultimatum.
That's it for us today. For the staff of Eye on the Tigers News, thanks for joining us. I'm Abby Garrett.
And I'm Sarah Petricola. Have a great day.